Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode. So, in this video, we are going to talk about how the power IC gets its input voltage. So, how the power IC gets its input voltage, and how you can know if the power IC is faulty or is damaged. So, now the first thing you have to check, you are going to see that there are some capacitors between the power IC and this coil. So, these are the capacitors. Always find them here. And if I take several PCBs, you also see the same thing. Can you identify the capacitors? You see that they are here. They are always between the coils and the power IC. These are the capacitors. If I take the other one, you still see the capacitors. They are always in parallel. They are always in parallel, meaning that all of them are connected. So if one capacitor gets short, all of them are going to be short. If I take this other motherboard, you still see the same thing. They are always between the power IC and the coil. So they are connected. They are in parallel. So they are connected. So if I measure the reading, the diode reading, or the capacitance of this capacitor, you see that all of them are going to be the same. All of them are going to be the same. So if I use this motherboard, let's measure and see. Put our multimeter on booster mode. So let's measure the capacitance. That is 277. 277. 277. 277. 277. You see that all the readings are the same. It means that if the voltage that is coming to this capacitor is from the battery connector, or is from the battery, or is from the charging IC, then each of this, if the voltage is, for example, 3.7, then all these capacitors are going to handle that voltage 3.7, 3.7 on all the capacitors, and they are going to supply the power IC. Now the power IC, sorry for the noise. Now the power IC is going to generate the required voltage and start sending it to all these capacitors and these inductors that you see. So from there, it's going to send it. These capacitors are going to distribute that voltage. Some will be going to the network section. Others are going to the back and to the audio section, the graphics, and so on. But the backlight gets its voltage from directly from the charging IC or from the battery. So from there, this voltage is going to be generated by the power IC, and it's going to supply these capacitors that you see on the other side. From there, the voltage will be distributed to all other parts of the mobile phone. I hope you understand. Now, how can you know if the power IC is damaged? How can you know if the power IC is damaged? So if you connect your battery, if you connect the battery to your phone and then to the motherboard, immediately you connect the battery to the motherboard, you are going to have voltage. You are going to see voltage on these capacitors. Immediately you connect the battery on the phone, you are going to see voltage on these capacitors. The voltage will be on these capacitors. Immediately you connect the battery. Then from there, when you switch on the phone, the voltage has to enter the power IC for the power IC to generate the required voltage and supply. Now, how can you know if the power IC is having a problem? If the power IC is faulty. So what you can do is you have to check the point. If you connect the battery, you have to check this. This is the power button jumper. The power button, a jumper point. So in most phones, you likely see a jumper point for the power IC or for the power button on the motherboard, especially on this corner. Now this point that you see is the jumper point. So what you have to do is you have to take your multimeter and check if there is voltage on this point. If there is voltage on this point, and then you try switching the phone, and still the phone does not comes on. So what you have to do, you have to check this the voltage. You have to check the other side of this capacitor to see if the voltage is going out from the power IC into these capacitors. So if the voltage is going out from the power IC and entering this capacitor, so you have to check the voltage. You have to use your multimeter and then check the voltage on the other side after switching the phone. But still the phone is not yet, it's not coming on. Yeah, so what you have to do is to check the voltage on this capacitor, because as you can see the line, when the voltage leaves the power IC, you see the line enters these capacitors, the capacitors that you see here. So what you have to do is, after you try to switch the phone on, then check this capacitor if there is voltage. If there's no voltage, then the power IC is faulty. And then if you check this point, if you check this point, this jumper point, and you don't see any voltage, it means that the power IC is having a fault. So you have to change the power IC, or you have to heat the power IC. Maybe there's an open circuit. You have to heat it up in order to connect the board. I hope everything I said is understood. So that's how the power IC receive and generate the input and the output voltage for the phone. So the input voltage, you always see these capacitors. You always see these capacitors. They are there to receive the voltage and pass it into the power IC. So if any of this capacitor is short, if one of them gets short, then it's going to short all the other capacitors. So that's it. So like I showed you the other motherboard, you also see the same thing. You also see the same capacitors at the same position between the power IC and the coils. You see them, they are always in parallel. So they are responsible for bringing in the input voltage into the power IC. So that's it, guys. So if you have any question, or there's something you don't understand, you can send me a message in the comment section, and I'll be happy to reply. So that's a small trick you can use to know if the power IC is damaged. So you check this power jumper button to see if there's voltage. Even if there is voltage or not, if there's voltage, then try to switch on the phone, and then check these capacitors that are on the opposite side. So the power IC have to send that voltage to these capacitors. If you don't see the voltage on these capacitors, then the power IC is faulty. But if you don't see the voltage at all on the power button, then you have to change or heat up the power IC. Maybe there's an open circuit. So if this video helped you to learn something, please like the video and hit that subscribe button if you are new to my channel. I also want to thank all those who are watching my videos and who have subscribed to my channel. And I will see you in the next video. And if there's something you'd like us to discuss, don't forget to message me on the comment section. and I'll be happy to reply. Thanks.